Gosh, it's so empty in the Marriott this time of year and this time of day. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's me, Gary, your co-director of the American Sci-Fi Classics Track. As you can tell from that little logo right there. Everybody who's watching us on the YouTube, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, share, etc., etc. Do all your standard social media obligations. Um, Sorry for the short notice of putting this up just yesterday that we're going to do this, but Joe and I were talking and decided that we needed to do a little more Dragon Con planning. And we thought, well, what better thing to do than to let you all join us? And speaking of you all, I have a few friends.
Gary, I wore my clogging shoes.
And I told you to wear your boogie shoes. Your boogie shoes.
My boogie shoes.
All right. So, Joe, as you can see, is late.
Not Joe.
I know. So, I will have to, by all of your powers combined, make a Joseph Krosif.
Do we have to?
Sadly. So, as we get
Six
started,
of us will Serpentor. In the Joe Crow.
Dibs on Sergeant Slaughter.
Because Dr. Mindbender liked two things: orthodontics and crunches, and that was his thing.
Yes. And he hated shirts.
Well, with those abs, would you want to wear a shirt?
Absolutely not.
Oh.
Well, he appreciated a good monocle, so yeah.
Indeed. And as we all know, dentistry is the true path to evil.
Fair.
Can't argue with that.
True. So I will just go around the horn and start below me, as he belongs. The other Gary. What is it now? 3 years running I've beat you in our Gary versus Gary face-off?
I swear it's rigged. The whole thing's rigged.
Would I do such a thing? Would I cheat?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yes.
Without hesitation.
I need new friends who don't know me so well.
Exactly.
So, again, starting with you. Poke. Who are you?
Oh,
people.
My name's Gary Lindros. I'm a frequent contributor to a variety of panels at Dragon Con. I helped co-host the Parsec Awards for about a dozen years before we faded, I guess, in some sense. Other than that, I'm a big science fiction fan, and you usually see me around con in some type of Star Trek outfit.
Indeed. All right. And then below him, I don't think I can get past Gary to get to him. Michael Bailey. I have to be. Oh wait, no, you are the only Michael. Oh my God.
So I am the Michael representative for the. Yeah, that's a hard thing to do, but I am actually Michael Bailey. I run the Fortress of Baileytude podcasting network. I talk a lot about Superman and Batman and other comic book kind of goodness. And every Monday night at 10:30, Steve Eunice of the Superman homepage and I and Mark Lax do Superman homepage live, where we talk about the latest in the world of Superman.
All right, and then immediately to his stage right, I think.
No, that's stage left.
Okay, stage left. See, I could never get that right. The main thing I know is forward is don't go too far forward, you'll fall in the pit. But our lady friend, you are.
Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. My phone has been screwing up. Apple says it's water resistant, but I think they lied. Anyway, so I'm Denise Lehman. My last name is spelled funny. That's why it's at Layman's Terms. I am the Instagram history teacher. I teach about World War I and World War II because I was born on the anniversary of D-Day, the 43rd anniversary of D-Day, and I cannot stop talking about military history.
And happy birthday.
And
happy birthday.
Thank you. I also talk about The Shadow, an inordinate amount. A lot. And The Mummy. And The Mummy. I can't forget about The Mummy. The Tom Cruise Mummy. The terrible Mummy.
Ew.
All right.
So that's me.
Above her to the left.
Hi, I'm Kevin Cafferty. I am a podcaster and I make films. My podcast about skateboard movies is called Gleaming the Tube, and my podcast about the best stuff in the world is called The Best Stuff in the World. And I could not beat the other Kevin in a Kevin off, which is why, as you can see, I have trapped him in the Marriott mirror dimension.
Oh, I need notes on that. Oh, geez.
And directly above him, that's you, John.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
Give me a second. My name is John Hudgens. I'm a filmmaker, television schmuck. I've done documentaries. I've worked on Babylon 5, Star Wars, almost Star Trek, various other things. I've been working in some audiobooks lately, and I'm currently developing an online series that I'll just leave it at that.
All right. And then trapped in the mirror Marriott.
Yeah, hey everybody. I'm the other Kevin, also in Massachusetts, and I do a podcast called The Flopcast. And every year I come down from Massachusetts to here in Mirror Universe, Georgia, to do weird things with all of these weird people.
Indeed. And then spiraling into the center square, as lovely and charming as the lovely Mr. Paul Lind, who is sadly no longer with us, we have.
Hi, I'm Whoopi Goldberg. I'm Keith R.A. DeCandido. I've written some things. I'm probably going to write some more things. And they keep letting me on panels in the Classics track because I don't know why.
Because we still have the contract.
Right. Yes.
And the negatives.
And
the negatives.
Right. Ask your parents, kids, what negatives.
You should never have gone to that crossroads.
No.
Nope.
But I tried to flag a ride.
Yeah. Well, flags.
Mistakes
What are you going to do? All right. So, as I said, we are here mainly just to shoot the crap. No, it's like DragonCon we are now past the 90-day mark.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm not even ready for Origins, and that's this month.
But yes, how's your cosplays coming along, everybody?
I haven't done one in 20 years.
I plan to cosplay as an author.
Yeah.
I've seen it works. I'm hoping to get one done.
It's not costume play, it's costume business.
Yes. My cosplay is going to be a responsible con-running adult, which is everybody knows strictly a costume. Strictly a costume.
Yeah, who wants to tell him?
Now, if Joe was here, he and I would probably shoot the breeze, as it were. The breeze has been shot. But as I'm shocked that Joe is running late, but that's okay. So here's what I'm going to do is first, like I said, since we are coming up on the DC Day, first, I would like to see, I will like to go around the horn and say, everybody, what are you looking forward to come DragonCon? And then I may drop some hints as to what Joe and I have planned and let you all immediately start screaming, ooh, 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 me.
Me, take me. So,
we'll start in the center and worm our way back out. Keith, what are you looking forward to this year? Do you know what you're doing so far?
I have no idea what I'm doing at DragonCon, but I usually don't this early. Probably it'll be the usual thing where I do 8 million different panels on 7 million different tracks. My usual nonsense. I know I'm going to be doing my practical self-defense workshop again, which I've been doing every year since 20. over 10 years now, where I give people some tips on how to defend themselves against a physical attack, giving them information that I hope to hell they never need.
Yeah.
And I'll be doing, I hope to be doing. I've never done anything on the fantasy track, which is ridiculous because I write a significant amount of fantasy. And I've been in touch with the fantasy track, and they plan to actually, use me this year. And I'll probably be doing stuff on the writer's track, possibly on the Star Trek track if they actually remember I exist. Probably some stuff on the sister track to this one, which is the American Science Fiction Media. The track for American science fiction media that's in this century, and some other stuff too. It's always a fun time. Dragon Con is one of my absolute favorite shows. I always love coming, and a big reason why I love coming is, of course, this ridiculous track. So I'm very much looking forward to the sheer lunacy that is the M303 to 305.
Yes. All right, and as far as Joe and I know, that is still our home. So everybody who's come to the Classic Tracks fanaticisms before, it is in the same place. And I applaud everyone who can find us in that back corner and around the corner. And
Oh, that's good. I left some candy under my seat last year, so okay.
I'm sure it's still there.
I'm just glad you're not in the L-shaped room anymore.
Oh my God, the Tetris room was terrible. All right, John, what are you doing? Do you know yet? What are you looking forward to?
I have no idea. I just always, like coming to the con. I do know that this year I'm going to be in probably even more tired than usual because I have a 40-year high school reunion in Memphis that I will be at the couple days before. So I'll be dragging myself to Atlanta from that. And whatever happens, happens. I'm sure I will hang out with some friends. I will eat several meals at Panberry's.
Yes.
And then I don't know if we will have fat mats or not. It all depends on various other things happening or not. We'll see.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, John, because I just went to Con Carolinas last weekend up in Charlotte, and Sue Phillips from the literature track, Sci-Fi literature track.
Who usually puts
Yeah, she was my car companion, and we were talking about Panberries and the fact that you venture out of the con to go get that.
Of course, I get a box from them like every 6 months. Or they deliver, and they ship it through Goldbelly, and it lasts me about 6 months, and then I'll pick up a box of like $100 worth of pies at Dragon Con and bring them back, and that'll last me another 6 months.
I understand.
They used to be in the food court.
Yeah, they used to
be. Yeah, so it was nice and convenient until like 3 years ago.
I know, but they didn't survive COVID.
Yeah,
but they still have a location. It's a little bit farther than walking distance at that big indoor farmers market down near college. And they've got a little restaurant there, and so Heather and I just make a detour. Like on Saturday, have lunch there and pick up stuff, take it back to Bonnie's, and pack it in dry ice and take it home.
Well, there you go.
They're yummy.
All right, and now I'm gonna pop Kevin.
Yeah. Which Kevin?
Well, you spoke first, so go.
Okay, I'll go. I'll be quick because I don't have much to say. I have very little planned right now. I don't know what in the world I'm going to be doing. For the most part, one or two things I have in mind. I think it also occurs to me that as I become far things, I'm becoming less useful to all other tracks. So, I'm really so out of touch with the kids these days that I'm at your humble service here on the Classics track.
You will always have a home with us.
One of us.
You may be out of touch with the kids, but we'll always be touching you.
Oh, God.
That's what the restraining order's for.
Yes.
Exactly. All right, Other Gary, what about you?
Oh, let's see. This year, I actually want to see guests. I've been doing so many panels over the years that for the last 3 or 4 years, I don't think I've been in one of the ballrooms at all for con. And I think I want to see somebody this year. I don't know who, but I want to see somebody. Also, I have to find a new place to hang out than Tumulties. That place is just gone, in my opinion.
Where?
The Tumulties pub. It's sort of like right in the food court area, but down a flight. It started off great and just sort of died over the years, and so I have to find a new place. And also, I'm continuing to be in the parade. I closed the parade. I am Robot Santa for the Futurama group. So come on out, and I will try and scare you the best I can.
Oh, and speaking of scaring people, look who finally showed up.
Hey, there he is.
Hey, look at that. He almost looks something.
He looks almost lifelike.
Man himself.
Wow, that AI is really doing wonders. It needs work, though.
Yeah.
Indeed. So, Joe, you want to tell people why you were late?
No, I'm good.
You're good. Okay. You want to tell people who you are, like they don't know?
Here's something I can say. I've been in the ready room for like 10 minutes.
Oh. Well, yeah. I didn't actually realize that it scrolls. You were hidden. I saw everybody else. And
was I?
Yes.
Was I, Gary?
Yeah. Hey, look, if you want to get smart with me.
Oh boy. Oh boy, here we go.
Right, find another Joe.
And we also have a
so
Kyle.
410. Look at that. No, here's who I am. My name is Joe Crow. I am the co-director of the American Sci-Fi Classics track, and I am a licensed professional wrestling announcer.
Woo!
Yes,
They have
it's
license
true.
They
Yes,
pay you?
they do, and I have one. And I also I do that, and I do this thing at American Sci-Fi Classics track. Allegedly, there are other things to do at Dragon Con, but like other Gary said, I don't know. We're so busy at the Classics track that we don't have time to go and do other stuff. Here's what Gary, you said something about going into a ballroom, but you don't know what you're going to be doing. The only time I go into ballrooms is when I'm hosting panels. Thank you very much.
La-dee-da.
Yep.
Yeah, aren't you fancy?
Pin a rose on my butt. That's right.
Any volunteers?
You know, just whenever. When the heck ever. But what apparently has happened right now, Gary Mitchell and Gary Lindros, is that the two of you are together. So right now, I am declaring Gary versus Gary.
We also have Kevin.
The answers already. I know.
Here's what's going to happen. I have 3 questions, and the reigning Gary Mitchell, he has to answer questions, and the other Gary Lindros, who has to also attempt to dethrone Gary Mitchell.
Oh boy.
Here's the thing. Here's what's happening. Gary Mitchell is the reigning Gary, and in fact has never been defeated.
That's right.
By just Gary Lindros is the only Gary who's attempted it, but
yeah, if we find another Gary, they will be third Gary or other
third
Gary, and then they can make
I can live with that. Yes.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if the stakes,
we'll have whatever all the Garys we need.
The stakes could not be higher because
Lower.
until
lower.
Yes, correct. The stakes could be in the middle somewhere. Here is what's going to happen if the whichever Gary is dethroned, whichever Gary is not the winner, that person must be call himself Other Gary.
Other Gary.
Between now and whenever there is another Gary versus Gary competition.
It is an honorable title.
He has Gary Lindros has held
It's an honor
this
just to be
title
nominated.
with honor. You have been, and I applaud Other Gary because in message board after message board comment, you signed it, Other Gary. It's great.
The man lives by his word.
Yep.
And I've got words for both of you, but we'll do that later. Okay.
Well, we all do.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
Right. So,
Here are Gary-related questions. Now, here is the thing, Gary Mitchell, I have a surprise run-in type thing for you because Gary Lindros did me a solid a few months ago. He's going to start the game with 1 point already.
Yes.
What?
Yep.
That's totally not fair and somehow expected.
First Gary to 3 points.
All right. Our good friend Beck from asked us the following question. And so allow me to stand.
Oh, geez.
Okay, that's as far as I can go with that.
Okay.
Thank God.
All right.
All right.
I have headphones. I will allow other Gary to go first, and I will take my headphone off so I can't hear the questions. And it's
all right.
All right.
All right, Gary Lindros.
Yes, sir.
Here is your first Gary-related question.
Yes.
According to the song "Putting on the Ritz," which Gary are you trying hard to look like?
Cooper. Gary Cooper.
Okay. All right. For half a bonus point, and how would that look?
Kind of rugged with a light-colored cowboy hat, probably at least 10 gallons, maybe 11. And
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Now, question number 2 for Gary Lindros. Let's see. One of the actors on the television show MASH is named Gary. Is it Frank Burns, Colonel Blake, or Radar?
Ooh.
what were my choices again?
Frank Burns, Colonel Blake, or Radar?
I'll go with Radar.
Okay. Okay. Now, your final question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. What's a good one? Oh, they're all good. What am I kidding? I made them up. They're all good.
Nice
The
save,
80s
sir.
rock band Europe had a song that sounds like Gary, but was in fact called Carrie. What is their other famous song?
Final countdown.
Okay, there are your 3 questions now. Let's get Gary Mitchell. Gary Mitchell, hey, you can come back now.
You're
Stepping out of the
Go
soundproof
down,
booth.
mister. Down, I tell you.
All right.
Joe, hang on. I
Okay.
got to call my bookie.
All right, please. Everybody place your bets. Place your bets. Okay. Now, Mr. Lindros, well, you already know what the answers that you have given. So you can listen to Gary Mitchell win or lose with the following questions. Okay. Here we go. Gary Mitchell.
Yes.
According to the song Putting on the Ritz, which Gary are you trying hard to look like?
That $1 million trooper, Gary Cooper, who is super duper.
All right. All right. Interesting that you would add that portion of the question because Gary,
You're lucky I
you
didn't
have just
scream
won
it.
an extra half point.
Oh.
Now I got this.
Oh, I'm
stuck
sorry,
in my
Denise.
head.
Are we boring you?
No, you're not boring me. Shut up. The solar storms are making me tired.
If only your name was Gary. Okay, you have 2 more questions.
All right.
2 more questions. One of the actors on the TV show MASH, his name is Gary in real life. Is that actor, does he portray Frank Burns, Colonel Blake, or Radar?
It's not Blake.
I can neither confirm nor deny that it is Blake or not.
I am going to say Radar.
Okay. Okie dokie. Let's see.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. Here we go.
Okie dokie and the pokey.
Question number 3 for you, sir.
Yes.
Okay. The 80s rock band Europe had a song that sounds like Gary, but it was called Carrie.
Mm-hmm.
What is their other famous song?
It's the final countdown.
All right. Okay. I
If I'm
have
wrong, I'm still having fun.
I have taken the appropriate amount of time to tally up the scores. Would anybody like to wager who is now the ultimate Gary?
My money's on Gary.
Yeah.
Good. Denise.
I think Gary is going to win.
Yes.
Okay.
I have no doubt.
I also think Gary is going to lose.
Yes.
Nicely done. Nicely done. All the money goes to Keith the Candy Down. All right. Any comments from the Kevins about the Garys? Who do we think?
We're like Switzerland. The reason the Kevins have survived.
Yeah. You don't want to be in the middle of it. It's ugly.
I am putting.
Now imagine if we
I'll
had the
go out.
Michaels here. Oof.
The Michaels, that would be.
Now, mind you, your comment about the Garys doesn't have to be related to the contest. You could just say something about how we're ugly and our mamas dress us funny. You know, whatever.
I'm putting all my money on Gary Gnu from the Great Space Coaster.
Oh. Why did he not come up in the questions? Okay.
He's got no the news.
Okay, here is your final score. Gary Mitchell, the reigning and current Gary, has come away with 3.5 points out of a maximum 3 points. You got the bonus and didn't even know it. 3.5 points. Gary Lindros ends this Gary versus Gary battle with 4 points. We have a new Gary.
The reigning Gary.
All right. Started with a point.
I demand a recount.
No recounts.
Rigged, I tell you. Rigged.
It is
Look at
rigged.
my finger.
It's not rigged. It could be rigged.
What if we just want to ignore the results?
You can ignore the results if you want to, but that doesn't mean that Gary is not Gary. That's right. Lindros. Mr. Lindros, you are now the ultimate Gary.
I've taken this to the Supreme Court.
Oh, well, then you're screwed.
I'm sorry.
You are totally. They don't like Gary.
After Con.
They don't like Garys at all.
I demand a recount.
All right, hang on. All right. I'm
None
gonna
of
count.
us here can count to 4.
That's right. Hang on. I'm gonna count again. because Gary demanded a recount. Let's see. Gary Mitchell, 3.5. Gary Lindros, 4. All right, recount over. Lindros remains the winner. Gary Mitchell, until the next battle, is now other Gary. I feel great about this. Yeah.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Such a gentleman. Such a gentleman. That is called being a gracious winner, Gary. Okay, now back to whatever you people were doing.
I have one thing to say about this.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
And he's back.
All right. Well, Kyle, you were not not able to do an introduction earlier, while I sit here and seethe and plot revenge like a good villain, tell people who you are.
I am Pam McCraw. I am a licensed professional engineer, which has nothing to do with this track. And I'm drinking the spiciest root or ginger ale I can find.
Ooh, ginger ale.
Nice.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So let's see.
And yes, Gary Berghoff was radar.
I guess I should have presented the answers to the questions. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
The 80s rock band Europe, their song was Final Countdown.
Yes.
I know. I got it right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything right. The only thing that anybody got wrong was Gary Lindros missed the $1 Million Trooper thing.
Thank you, Keith. Once again, attempting to become the ultimate Keith when there's only
Wait a
one.
minute. He got a question. He got a question wrong, and he still beat me.
No, it was a bonus question.
Yeah.
It was bonus.
Wait a minute. I
It
didn't
was
get a bonus question.
You did get the bonus. You got the point
You got
five.
the-
Oh my God.
That was
That's a
0.5.
bonus question because you answered it without being prompted. But Keith could be the only Keith in a room of people and still be second Keith.
I was
the thing.
actually I was part still am part of a group called the Liars Club, which is a cabal of writers here on the East Coast, and there are only like 12 of us, and there was another Keith, and he joined before I did. So in that group, I was other Keith.
Nice.
There were we had two Jonathans, two Keiths, two people named Jones who were not related, and there was one other name in common. It was ridiculous. It just anyway.
I love it. So, Mr. Well, what is the name of your ginger ale? That's
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah.
I like it.
Spirited.
There we go.
Oh, hey, hot ginger ale.
That's right.
There we go.
Spicy.
All right, so let's drop some knowledge on
Knowledge?
Show.
Okay.
Mr. Cafferty, what is one thing that you did for us last year that was the first time we'd done it and was quite the success?
The MTV 120 Minutes dance party that I co-DJ'd with our friend Mr. Chris Cummins.
That would be correct. Guess what's happening again?
Woo!
Yeah, we're doing it again.
The MTV 120 Minutes dance party.
Indeed.
That was one of my favorite things about last year's Dragon Con. I
Awesome.
had so much fun with that.
It was quite the fun time. We had a lot of people tell us they really enjoyed it in the app feedback. So it seems like a no-brainer to do it again if you would be willing to do so.
I am more than willing to show up and play Depeche Mode songs where and whenever it is required of me.
Did we the one note that I got from more people besides, of course, how great the dance party was why is it so late? We're old. So when did we start? Was it 11:30 last time?
It started 11:30 last time, which I know we were in the same room as kind of the judging for the Bunny Hutch.
Mm-hmm.
Which
yes.
So it was sort of like they cleared out of there and then we set up, and it was kind of weird last year because we tried to do a panel and then the dance party, which didn't really work. So I believe this year we're just dancing.
Correct.
Here's what's not going to happen: a panel. We're just going straight to.
Now, we are though planning to do a pre-taped panel on YouTube on the topic.
I mean, we could do that.
If nothing else, I'll do a podcast episode about it with the people from the panel, and we can release that to the world too. QR code that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
So speaking of Gary and Mr. Kevin Cafferty, something just dropped today. Would you guys like to promote that thing that you two just did?
Right. Well, I had mentioned my podcast, The Best Stuff in the World, and the episode that came out last night.
I wasn't here for that, Kevin. Go ahead.
The episode that came out last night does feature a guest spot from our own Gary Mitchell. We're discussing G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero.
The other Gary Mitchell.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And oh, by the way, I can confirm this now. Kevin Cafferty and I are doing a podcast about something with Gary's name in it. and that is the Gary Puckcast.
Gary Podkit in the Union Cast. The podcast.
That's right.
For Gary Puckett in the Union Jack.
The Gary Puckett in the Union Gap podcast is happening. It is official. Yes. That's all we're going to talk about is Gary Puckett in the Union Gap. We got 9 subscribers right here, Kevin Caffrey.
Look for that wherever pods are casted.
Indeed.
I've been to a Gary Puckett concert. I'm not proud, but it happened.
We already knew you weren't proud.
What was the Union Gap there, Kevin?
The Union Gap was there, yes.
Okay, all right then. All right, well, I'll allow it.
Oh, yeah. It was official.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Gary Puckett of the Union Gap questions are going into the next Gary versus Gary.
I'm going to miss that question.
And the Union Gap. I have so much fun torturing Gary Mitchell.
Yes, you do. So
only one of us has access to an actual pro wrestling ring, and the other one of us has never shown up to that ring despite so many challenges. That's okay.
I've been there. I just didn't stay for the show.
That explains a lot.
Yes. One of these days I am going to show up and I'm hitting you with a steel chair.
Oh, it's going to happen. Denise has also been close in proximity to the pro wrestling.
It is so very true. It is so very true. And I would stay for the show, my dear, sweet Joe. But you are 2.5 hours away from me.
Oh, I know. Yeah. It's a long drive and it's inconvenient for everyone.
It is why you are in Gadsden. I will never understand.
I don't know either. I just go where they tell me.
I know, but they should really tell you to go down to Birmingham.
They should. Yeah.
Yeah. Make it easy for the rest of us.
There are places in Alabama that aren't Birmingham.
Is there anything?
To talk about it.
I mean,
there's no place in Alabama that's comfortable or enjoyable, but that's neither here nor there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Anywho, what?
Well, since we're talking to Denise and we're talking about panels, there's a movie anniversary this year that we are going to at least do a panel if we don't do a showing. Then everybody just keep a close eye on Denise there as I say we're going to do a panel about the Shadow movie.
I'm so excited. Oh my God. Y'all don't even know. Okay. I own every single radio show that they have done on the Shadow and listened to it about 6 different times. And oh my God, it's going to be so much fun. Y'all are never going to get me to shut up about this.
Nope. So already got it set.
Will we finally know what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
No, we will never know, but the Shadow will. The Shadow knows.
Shadow knows.
The Shadow knows. And
Alec
Baldwin. We will talk about this movie because I love it so much. I don't care what anybody says.
And I think
I'm pretty sure you are the only person in the world who loves that movie. So
no, that's me. That's me. I absolutely.
You two are the only people in the world.
Look, yes. I'm pretty sure I am the only person in the world who loves the 2000 Dungeons and Dragons movie. Okay, that is my.
Okay, all right, Gary, take her out. We're done. No,
I don't love
shut it down.
I don't love the Shadow movie, but I just remembered in the other room I still had this from the original release. They gave these out in the theater when that.
Oh wow!
I had that. We had that at my movie theater for the Phantom movie. Yes,
so cool.
You fucking
that's the Phantom, not the Shadow. Sorry.
I think I was deployed to Spain when I finally sat down. I watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show finally. And then I think that was the time that I actually watched The Shadow, and it was so funny because
there's a double feature.
Right, I know, right? You go from one extreme to the other. It was strange, and then in between that,
they both have Tim Curry.
Movie.
Yeah,
it was, the Dick Tracy. Let me tell you what, I have never been on acid, but I'm pretty sure that movie is as close as
there's a transition.
But yes, Keith, Denise, and Michael Bailey will be on that panel.
Yay!
Whether they want to be or not.
Oh no, I want to be.
Okay.
Well, Keith, you kind of have a.
Why is anybody other than Denise going to be on that panel? We won't get to say anything.
Hey, rude!
Oh,
Am I wrong?
shots
Fired.
You'll be able to introduce yourself.
And apparently she was so shocked. Oh, there she goes. Okay. You were
Yeah,
frozen.
no, I wasn't. Sorry, my internet is crap. No, 1, rude. 2, yes, you will be able to say something. Oh my God, so rude. So rude.
Oh. All right.
I can't shut up for once in my life, you know.
And speaking of Michael Bailey being on panels, Michael and Kevin of the Flopcast, have you figured out what you're doing Monday morning at 8:30?
We're going to figure that out Monday morning at 8:27.
Yeah, this will be the 10th year of the 8:30 panels, by the way.
Yep. I've already gotten an evil glare from VA.
I average about 2 hours and 10 minutes of sleep every Sunday night at Dragon Con.
Here's the thing. Here's the rule. They always say about the 6-2-1 rule. What that means is, as we all know, it's 6 showers, 2 hours of sleep, one meal. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we all stay in fighting trim.
Yes, indeed.
There's no other way to con.
Nope.
No.
1 hotel hamburger, lukewarm, please.
Good Lord.
And a god-awful amount of caffeine.
But yes, and Bethany is not. I don't think she's seen the post yet because my life hasn't been threatened over this.
Oh yeah. But Michael Bailey, tell us about what happened that very first year we, for some ungodly reason, did an 8:30 a.m. panel.
Oh well, if you're talking about the Batman panel, that was Sunday morning.
Okay,
and it was scheduled for 8:30 in the morning on Sunday, and I was convinced no one was going to be there. And I get down there, and Michael Faulkner arrived right around the time I did. And the line, because this is when it was in the Tetris room, that line was snaking into out of there, past the FedEx, and into the lobby area. And I looked at Michael Faulkner. I go, I think this Batman guy's popular. I think he's got legs. I think it's going to go someplace. That room was packed. And this is what, I don't know who was in control of the lights. But what they did is they packed a room full of people at 8:30 in the morning on Sunday on Dragon Con. And then they turned down the lights because that's what you want is a bunch of tired people to be made comfortable.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But no, it was insane. But it was a fun panel, and I think that's partially responsible why the comics and pop art track is out doing more panels like that. Because we started taking comic book stuff away from them.
We did. We did a panel about Watchmen. I think the first year that Gary and I were, or maybe the second that Gary and I were the co-directors. We did panels, and we did superhero anniversary panels.
Yes.
At the morning thing, and whatever superhero had his or her 50th or 60th or 75th anniversary that year, we did a thing. And now the comics track is like, oh wait, the word comics is in our name. We have to do those panels.
Yeah, I have fond memories of that Watchmen panel, especially the picture we took afterward because of Mr. Bailey's commentary on the picture.
Yeah, it's like everybody is staring at this very nice young woman who's dressed as a Silk Spectre, and I'm like looking off to the side. I have no idea what was going on.
Probably. We
my stupid face.
I was most happy about during the Watchmen panel letting everyone know that the Watchmen movie ruined the song Hallelujah for me.
Yes.
And because now it is no longer Hallelujah whenever I hear it. Now it's the Watchmen Boinkin' song. And
that was Leonard Cohen's original title for it, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the movie is just being true to the spirit of the song.
Yeah.
But speaking of movies, we do tend to show quite a few.
Yeah.
We do have our wonderful quarantine panels, or what is it? We call it the lock-in. Yes.
Yes.
Sorry. We do the lock-in, and this year's lock-in, I want to make sure everybody is 100% clear, and there is no confusion. We are not showing Mac and me.
Oh, thank God!
No!
I
I'd be
think
very
it was
happy about that.
Oh, we'd be so disappointed.
But we are thinking about showing Miami Connection as a lock-in.
Nice.
We are considering showing also the 1984 Dune.
Yep.
We are
We've
considering
got some Dune-related goodness in the works.
We might be showing The Phantom of the Paradise because it's an anniversary for that.
Ooh.
Okay, I got
it's
two
one of my favorites. Oh, and that brought Keith back from the grave.
Apparently, my laptop was so appalled at the concept of being awake at 8:30 a.m. at Dragon Con that it crashed.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So,
and for some particular reason, we might talk about X-Men. It might be relevant this year or something maybe.
We did an X-Men panel a couple of years ago, and then all of a sudden, Disney Plus is like, hey, what if we made a new cartoon? And we were like, yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's 97, so does it count as new?
I mean, the animation was updated.
Yeah. I mean,
animation was a lot better.
Yeah.
Everything else was exactly the same, and I loved it.
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, Denise, you are gonna die.
Look, I have a hard time with animated things because I went to school for it.
Well, you don't have to work on the X-Men cartoon.
No, but if the lip syncing is off, it just screws everything else up. I just can't do it.
All right.
As a child of the anime generation, like the lip syncing,
yeah, no, we do not do
anymore.
Look, we do not do anime in this house. Okay, anime is a whole different beast. I see all of the cheats. It's like Hanna-Barbera all over again. We do not do anime in this house. Okay.
Why are you dragging Hanna-Barbera's name in the same sentence as anime?
No, because it's the only way that I can explain what I see when I watch anime. Look, the new Sailor Moon. I am still traumatized by the new Sailor Moon. Okay, I grew up on the '90s Sailor Moon. That was an insult.
I mean, so was the 90s Sailor Moon, but
you shut your face. You shut your face. The 90s Sailor Moon was great, okay?
This is for the panel.
I like how we all got together and now we're just yelling at each other. It's like we're a real family.
Yeah. You know, the fact that somebody grew up on something in the 90s.
Yeah,
that makes Yeah.
Speaking of yelling, we are going to bring back a panel which surprised us in its popularity this year.
John Hudgens.
Well, I mean, I just showed up for that one. Well,
and crushed it.
Really? I don't remember that.
Well, I remember hearing good things, and we did a panel. April 1st, 2023. I made a little joke on the Classics Track page about what if we just did a panel called "Just Yell the Names of Shows That You Could Think of," and everybody said, "Wow, that's a great idea." So, encouraging
Joe and I hear often.
Yeah, exactly. And encouraging me and Gary is really the worst possible thing you can do.
It really is.
And yet we keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's how you end up on an 8 a.m. panel.
This is on you.
Hey, Joe, did you say something other than Manimal? I'm just curious.
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
It's okay. We had other people in the room. So.
We did the panel, and we did it Thursday night, and I didn't make it because had a weird car thing happen. You know, like you remember that movie Final Destination? That happened to me. But anyway, I'm okay now. Everything's fine. But is everybody trying to remember what I'm talking about in Final Destination?
I remember Space 1999 guy.
Does no one remember Final Destination with the wood truck and how nobody followed
log
behind
truck?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it in real life, not follow trucks. You know?
Yeah. No, I don't follow behind wood trucks anymore.
That's just dumb.
Well, anymore, exactly. Here's
right.
because I thought, well, that's never going to happen in real life. And then on my way to Dragon Con last year, a chunk flew off the back of a truck, and I hit it with one of my tires, and my car went.
See, this is why you don't follow behind wood trucks.
I know that now.
Yeah, you should have watched. You should have paid more attention to Final Destination.
I should have. Okay,
Not a sentence I ever expected to hear.
What terrifying
No,
horror
if you're on
movie do I need to watch
I-85, you
this
really
year
don't have
to
a.
prepare for Dragon Con?
If you're on I-85, you really don't have a choice of who you're following. You're lucky to
Thank
make
you,
it up.
Michael.
I'm just saying.
Michael's supportive. Michael Bailey is supportive.
I am just saying. Everybody knows not to follow behind the wood trucks because we all did our homework and paid attention to Final Destination.
Apparently, except
for Joe.
Except for Joe.
Yes.
Except for Joe.
Which that could be a whole other panel. Except for Joe. Oh, that's it. We have to find sci-fi shows which have characters named Joe, and then suppose what happened to the show if the character Joe was not in the show, so it'd be Joe-less.
Joe Free.
Joe. Yeah.
Final Destination. I just found this picture. I mean, I had to follow. We followed behind one on a 2-lane.
Oh my Lord!
Highway in Mississippi years ago, and it's like I took the picture, and then we went around that bastard.
Yes.
Because you did your homework. You paid attention.
Homework.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do a poll of the group because we've given this panel a hiatus. Who would like to see a return of Classic Sci-Fi Court?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I think that's a good biennial kind of panel to go through.
All right.
Yeah, we kind of gave it a break because I don't know that we could have topped what we did the last time because Gary Mitchell totally blew me out of the water. I had no idea what
he cheated. Is what you mean? He cheated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do remember going up to you and Faulkner at convention going, hey, you want to see my secret weapon for my sci-fi court?
Here's what Gary did.
Yes.
So Classic Sci-Fi Court is a thing where you bring a movie that allegedly people find less than good. Maybe some people might say that.
So something from Denise's collection.
Some people might call it divisive.
Ooh.
Anyway, and then you defend it. But like everything on Sci-Fi Classic Track, we made it difficult for everybody. You can't just come in and talk. You got to do a PowerPoint presentation
And I
or
forget
some other
who
type
did
of
the
thing.
first one, Kevin, but
Yeah,
they made it impossible not to use a PowerPoint.
exactly. It's like the bar was set so high. And
My team,
so,
my legal team, we work all year preparing for Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
Court.
you
I have
do.
a team of rubber chicken.
and as I recall, you also had a lapel badge that said how I should vote, and I did. I followed the advice of the lapel badge. And so
I had like a scrolling LED message going,
right.
attempting to sway the judgment. Yes,
it
was
worked.
wildly effective. I gotta say,
Wildly effective. And Gary, now other Gary, his movie was The Sword and the Sorcerer, and you did a whole defense of The Sword and the Sorcerer. And why did that movie win, Gary Mitchell?
All hail King Manimal, Simon McCorkindale. I had forgotten he was in the movie until I was rewatching it to prepare my defense. And when I saw Simon McCorkindale's name come up, I was like, oh, I got this in the bag.
Because he gets a crown at the end. It's heartwarming.
Yeah, it was like secret Manimal prequel.
Yeah. No, that's
and our
canon
good
as
friend-
far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yes, and our good friend Darren Bush has actually recorded that, and so I will be unleashing that upon you all when I have clearance, because I was on fire, if I don't say so myself.
In fuego.
It was quite the presentation.
Here's the thing:
I would be willing to reverse the usual thing and basically prosecute The Matrix as an overrated piece of crap.
Ooh,
hey, that's an idea.
Ooh.
Let's do that.
Oh yeah, the prosecution.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I like it.
I also
Pete,
like.
you're in. Get your PowerPoint ready.
Yeah.
That's tremendous. I love it.
And The Matrix is long enough ago that it falls under the rubric.
Oh, it 100% counts.
Oh, yeah,
25 years.
Yeah.
I think we did a Matrix panel a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, it was 99, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 99.
Actually,
Same
this
year
year
as,
is an anniversary for it. So,
It was 99. Yes, it is the 25th anniversary. So,
Oh,
God help us
wow.
all.
so
fitting.
happy
Yes,
25th
1999
birthday,
was 25
Matrix.
years ago.
What?
We're old.
Happy 25th birthday, Matrix. You suck ass.
Yep.
And
I'm there.
Kevin,
That's going on.
Matrix and the Rangers, they both suck.
yes, and Kevin Cafferty, we are bringing back something that we're very happy to do, because you do the labor of love and hard work so that Joe and I have to do is show up. We're doing another set of table reads.
Woo!
Ah!
In fairness, Joe did have to schlep his gorilla suit to the con last year for that. I'm
That
wearing
was his
the Alf.
own choice.
Yeah,
I'm wearing
wait,
the Alf
wait.
t-shirt in honor of it.
Let's not make that sound like it's a chore for Joe to do.
Joe
wears
doesn't go anywhere without that gorilla
I was
costume.
about to say. Come on.
Now, are we talking about the shows that we're
Yes.
Oh,
think we've
Lord,
settled
here we
on?
go.
Joe's getting one of the things we thought we would try and tie into was this whole sort of Mrs. Roper subculture at con lately, where there's the Mrs. Roper bar crawl, and Joe got a hold of them and said, if we did a Three's Company table read, would you all show up to that dressed as Mrs. Roper? And that seemed like a really good excuse for something super ridiculous to happen. And is there any raison d'etre for the Sci-Fi Classics track than for something super ridiculous to happen? So we're going to do a Three's Company episode. I'm sort of pouring through the oeuvre right now to see which episode would be best. And the other one we're leaning towards, I think, I put the call out on the American Sci-Fi Classics Facebook page to see what people thought. And one show that came up that I thought would be fun to do is this like early 90s, late 80s syndicated sci-fi show Out of This World about the teenage girl who can stop time by doing that with her fingers. Because we had a lot of fun doing Small Wonder, and I feel like those kind of shows like work really well in table read format. So I'm looking forward to that.
Indeed.
By the way, I was amused to realize that the last time I signed into StreamYard was the WKRP table read, because when I signed in, my name said Les Nessman.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Mine said Johnny Favor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're watching us on the YouTube, please go into our archives and watch our table read of WKRP in Cincinnati.
As God is my witness, I thought that turkeys could fly.
Yes.
Kevin, speaking of the script reading from last year, can you remind us what you had in your luggage, what you had to explain to TSA?
I believe I had a full Alf costume that Chris Cummins wore to portray Alf. And I had like 70 plastic kazoos and kind of a Wonder Woman tiara. I had a whole bunch of stuff for the table read. And of course, that is the piece of luggage that TSA is like, we got to look in this. It's like, could you explain this, sir? It's like, well,
this is why I drive to Dragon Con.
It's vintage Alf bubblegum cards. Why do you have an Alf costume, sir? Highly
What he
amusing.
does on his weekend is what he does on his weekend.
Thank you.
You must be on some kind of a watch list now.
We're all consenting adults.
We are adults.
We are consenting. That's about as far as
okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, technically, I'm
some
not
of
an
us are
adult, but that's
scented.
okay.
The assertion that you are an adult almost certainly proves you are.
Yeah.
Fair point.
We will also returning will be Sci-Fi Explosion. They have Chris. Speaking of Chris Cummins, he has been a lovely kickoff for the con for us on Thursdays.
Yes.
So it is very happy to have him coming back. Christmas Con with Dave West and his crew will be happening again, as well as the Video Game Hall of Fame, but I am unsure of what their topic is this year. And they will also be doing another Choose Your Own Adventure read. So those have been very popular. Oh my God, that thing scares me.
It's creepy Santa.
Has that been watching us this whole time?
Well,
yes. I'm just glad it's
always
not my
house.
It has been watching all of you.
No.
He knows if you've been
He knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake.
Okay.
He knows if you've been bad or good. So be good.
You know,
For goodness sake.
Oh, hello. Hello, I'm Robot Santa.
That is terrifying.
I'm
Happy birthday, Denise.
Thank you, Robot Santa.
Happy birthday. In 6 more months, I'm coming to your house.
Oh, okay. That does sound like a
Kitty.
threat.
Kitty.
Oh, it's a threat, all right. And I'm okay. Oh, hang on. I'm getting word from Mrs. Santa that, I need to, as she puts it, crank it down a little bit. Take it down to about a 3 is what I just heard from Mrs. Claus. So I will do that, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Gary Mitchell.
Yes.
I just found out that you lost the Gary versus Gary thing. How'd that go for you?
Good.
Wait. Oh,
you want to know how that went for me? Let me tell you how that went for me.
Christmas is canceled.
So I don't know if everybody knows that was actually ours. That was my wife's.
Oh, really?
Yes, and we gifted it to Joe. And this is what I'm surprised about, because my wife, I don't know if you know this, my wife Rachel is very mischievous. She never just put it in front of the bed like when I was sleeping. So the first thing I would see when I would wake up would be this horrific Santa Claus. So I'm really disappointed that she never did that. So I could wake up screaming some more.
We can still make that happen, Mike.
No, we could still.
Joe, if you're in my house at any point in the next 6 months, I'm probably going to open fire. I'm just saying.
Oh no, it's going to be at the foot of the bed.
Yeah, the 2 words are restraining order.
But we're glad
I know what restraining orders are, Gary.
Rachel, he's making the Santa talk.
I'm making the Santa talk. Hello, Rachel Bailey.
I expected Joe to have a creepy robot Santa. I was surprised, Michael, that you had one.
It was Rachel's okay, you got to understand. My wife's parents were hoarders, and they would buy stuff and just keep it. Like, we were cleaning out something last year, and we found paper plates from the 1996 Olympics that were still there, and the Izzy toy and all that. So and her mom's maternity clothes. So it's
and I'm the youngest child,
and she's the youngest. So
that's how old the clothes are.
So yeah,
And
they never
also
throw
creepy
anything
robot
away.
Santa.
I don't know why they bought that, because it's obviously dynamic. Oh, it was on sale.
It was on sale. It was on clearance after Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that tracks.
It would be
Yeah, that
insane not
tracks
to buy it.
with your mom. Yes, that tracks.
and it also tracks that would be on sale, because it's probably the only way they could get anybody to buy it.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
came at a discount. Robot Santa is cheap. Oh, you people.
I really wish there was a
I'm
way we could
listening
make
to
the eyes
everything
glow
you're saying. In 6 more months, you're all in big trouble.
I'm gonna have
We already knew
nightmares.
that.
Even the people that don't believe in me. Because
Yeah,
I
really
believe
depends-
in you.
It really depends on how November 5th goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm kind of bummed out all the time. You remember. But let's not get political. I'm not even sure I'm an American citizen.
Oh my god.
He is
I'm
tracked by
looking.
He
NORAD.
lives in the North Pole, which is not American territory, so you know.
Yeah, not yet. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sci-Fighters is returning.
Right,
This
Dragon Con.
year's this year's topic. We did Nicolas Cage twice because
Great.
people demanded it.
Both times.
Mm-hmm.
So this year
we considered doing another Nicolas Cage adjacent, but we're torn between. So if you're watching this, please throw your comment, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell.
Ding.
We are either going to do. Do you want to say it, Joe?
I'll say it. Here's my big idea. It's Nicolas Cage's versus John Travolta's.
So it's a face-off.
Yes.
100%. So, of course, the first entrant in the tournament is going to be Nicolas Cage with John Travolta's face.
Right.
And contestant number 2
would be, I mean, he'll be somewhere in the tournament, I'm guessing, would be John Travolta wearing Nicolas Cage's face.
Yeah.
So
I haven't seen that movie.
you will.
Yes.
You will.
And the other option we're
You
considering.
almost don't need to. I mean,
You really, the name kind of, that's all it is.
Once
It
the
really
plot is
describes
described
the
to
whole
you, you've
premise.
seen the movie. You know. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
The rest of it is just action movie fluff.
Yes.
yeah.
But the other competition we're considering is David Bowie versus Tim Curry.
Ooh, that's
Okay, that's just cruel.
That's
Yep.
rough.
That's
And
the hitters right there. Jeez.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
rough.
it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
It always
Tell me you're going to
it hurt so good. I recall one of my favorite things last year was Tony Ann, our wonderful friend Tony
Our
Ann
official
Marini.
board runner.
Yes, she read the votes. We were doing a Muppet fight.
Yes.
And I think Kermit the Frog lost, and people went, "Aw."
Yeah.
And then she goes, "You did this! You didn't play it that way. You did this to yourselves."
Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
And it was true.
Yeah.
That was true.
You were gonna say, Michael?
I was going to say, if you're going to do Bowie versus Curry, you have to subtitle that Sophie's Choice because
Yes.
that's
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh,
nice, nicely done.
Yes, but we've been going for.
I like that.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
like that a lot,
Yeah.
actually.
All right, but we have been going for about an hour. Like I said, we are. Let me get the actual math. Dragon Con 2024.
it's not like it's on the website doing a countdown, Gary.
Why do you think I'm typing? We are 83 days, 18 hours, 52 minutes, and 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Yeah.
So we should get in line now. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Start lining up for panels now. If you don't have your membership, I'm shocked.
Shocked, I tell you.
And Joe and I are definitely looking forward to seeing these people and all of you at home.
All of you people.
I'm looking forward to tracking
What do
down
you mean,
Gary.
you people?
I'm going to give him such a big hug. It is going to be the biggest hug he's ever had.
I look forward to meeting you once again.
Love
And
it.
getting your hug.
Time.
Yes.
Now I need a Dr. Doom mask.
Yes.
We can make. I might have one of those in the closet.
I'm sure someone in the dealer.
I would be surprised if you didn't, Joe.
Thank you.
Right next to the gorilla suit.
Mhm.
Denise gets it. Denise gets it.
Gorilla Dr.
I do.
Doom.
He's an it getter.
Oh God.
Oh wait, she's that Denise. Oh, now
Hi.
You see, this is why you're other Gary. This is why you were other Gary.
That's right. Yeah. But there's only one Denise.
There
as
is.
far as
There
we know.
really is.
Now
And I don't know how anybody can mistake me. Not with this mouth. Come on. I'm the loudest one on the tracks.
This is
God knows I've tried. But
accurate.
Keith is trying so hard. Like, look.
You can do it, sweetie. I believe in you.
Mhm.
But yes, that is just a this is a taste of the madness you can expect in a few months.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to thank everybody who showed up. Joe and I put the call out for this, I think, Monday?
Yeah.
I don't think it was that long ago.
It probably wasn't.
It seems like more than
today.
for a Classics track.
Yeah, Mr. Lindros. See, Lindros only found out about it today and then came in and won the whole thing.
Yes.
For
I feel
now.
like the game was.
I'm
rigged.
so proud and happy for him. I'm not jealous or upset at all.
So here's what happened. Here's the bonus point that Mr. Gary Lindros, last Halloween, a guy I work with, he said, "Hey, does anybody have a Star Trek phaser that I can use for a Halloween costume?" And I says, "No, I don't, but I know somebody who does." And Gary Lindros said, "I am that somebody." And we made the Star Trek phaser happen. My friend got he did a costume. He was a red shirt with an alien chest burster popping out of his chest. And
Perfect.
and Gary Lindros participated.
It's somehow ironic that Star Trek was my undoing.
Yes, it is ironic.
Yep.
And that was
And
the
I'm wearing
point.
a red shirt. I should have known. I should have
Yeah,
known.
you really.
First-
Why? Why
I
with
did
the
it
red
to
shirt,
myself.
Gary?
I did it to myself.
You did it
did.
You
yourself.
absolutely did.
You did.
Self-recrimination.
And
It's the
usually I
best
get
kind of
OnlyFans for that.
Yeah.
So you set yourself up for all that, and Mr. Gary Lindros, who's now Gary Prime, he's been sitting on that point, waiting on you to show up. And whoa! All right, here we are. Anyway, guys, thank you. People.
Frankly, Captain, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
So we'll do a real quick around the horn. If you have anything you would like to plug or promote, or where people can find you online, and we'll start with doing this.
There you go.
All right, Mr. Bailey.
FortressOfBailey2.com. That's where you can find my shows and stuff. I just yak about comics. It's nothing complicated.
Yeah, it should be your new tagline. It's nothing complicated.
Yeah. Really sell it, Gary, Michael Bailey. Sell it. You go. Listen, if you want.
Yeah, what am I suddenly?
The never-ending
Jewish
battle
man
of
from New York.
apathy.
If you want to listen to it, you can.
It's okay.
Don't listen, you won't break my heart. I'm only enslaving over these
Get
podcasts.
a sweat. It's kind of chilly in here. Now I know what I'm going to do on the shadow panel to make Denise laugh. I'm going to do the entire thing as an old Jewish man.
Why is he? I
my
understand why he
sciatica.
wears a scarf in New York in
Somebody
the
bigger
winter.
than
It's so
Bill.
chilly. Oh, speaking of chilly, I know this little bodega.
Good night, Denise.
Good night, everybody.
Boom.
Well, while
Ryan,
Denise
over
is
here.
hurting, we'll jump down to Gary Prime. Do you have anything to promote?
Oh God.
No, after about 14 years of podcasting, I've put my microphone down for a while. I'm waiting for the passion to reignite. So.
All right. Well,
Well,
speaking
now
of
you're Gary
ignited,
Prime.
That's
Yes.
true. Yeah.
now you need to start the Gary cast.
Mm.
And only have
But-
people named Gary on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But speaking of ignited passions, Kevin,
Best Stuff in the World podcast. Listen to there's links on the Sci-Fi Classics page. I talk about there's the episode I did with Gary Mitchell about G.I. Joe that just came out. There's an older episode with Kevin, who's to the left of me, and we talk about Watchmen. And my wife said she really liked that episode. My wife, in the past, when she can't get to sleep, has said, "Talk to me about comic books, please." So that's how good the Watchmen episode is.
It's very
and
good.
Yeah,
there's an episode coming out next week about Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn. All of my weird niche interests can now be podcasted about on this show. Check it out.
And Mr. Eldridge.
Yeah, you can find me, right here, flopcast.net. We are just doing silly things there every week.
All right. Denise, are you still doing the online comic?
I am. It's on Instagram once every year on October, which is known in the Instagram world as Inktober. I come online and I teach you about the real GI Joes of World War I and World War II and the 20-year gap in between, because like everybody else on here, I have very niche interests. But my last name is French and there are consonants where they don't belong together. But it just so happens to be layman's, so I think I'm funny, and you can find me at Layman's Terms. So come join me for a history lesson. It'll be fun, I promise.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, you got anything to plug?
Yes, actually, nothing that I've worked on, but some lovely friends of mine and friends of many of you have put a whole lot of work into a Planet of the Apes tabletop role-playing game.
Oh,
so go check that out if you're a fan of Planet of the Apes.
And even if you're not.
Even if you're not, if you're a fan of tabletop role-playing games, go check it out. And, pre-order all that fun stuff if you want to, but go check it out. A lot of cool stuff.
All right, Mr. Hudgens, what are you up to these days?
Nothing I'm really wanting to announce publicly yet. No. I mean, I'm fiddling and farting around with a lot of different things, but nothing's anywhere near, announceable yet. I will plug a couple of other people's things real quick. Peter David has just published a new book, which everybody should go buy and read, especially because they need the help right now.
It's called Robin of Sherwood.
Robin of Sherwood, yes.
ROBYNE of Sherwood.
Completely separate from all of us. They just announced a new Wallace and Gromit movie today coming out at Christmas.
Oh, wow.
Graw coming back as the villain. Yes, and Nick Park is already directing. And this has got
I'm in.
Completely nothing to do with any of this, but it's a movie that if you haven't seen yet, you have to see it. And that is Hundreds of Beavers.
Oh,
okay.
If you have not seen it, you need to go.
Heard it's good.
You need to watch it with a lot of friends. It is one of the funniest movies I have seen in the last decade.
Oh, wow.
And conveniently, that is also the title of its porn parody.
I was about to say, I'm not Googling that. I'm not putting that in my search engine.
Seriously,
I'm really not.
it's a black and white, nearly silent, Buster Keaton live-action Looney Tunes film. It is insane and
Pornhub
brilliant.
has entered the chat.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, dropping all the porn references, that really is the title. It really is funny. I just watched it again with some friends last week and laughed my butt off.
Awesome.
In a non-porn way.
What? Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I arrived late because I was trapped in the Phantom Zone.
What about Keith?
Let's Keith plug something.
Gary's the host. I was just interrupted.
If you search for that, I'm the only thing that's going to turn up. I'm the only one with that name.
There's no porn.
I'm always doing lots of things, but in particular, I am currently on Reactor Magazine, which used to be Tor.com. I am doing a weekly Babylon 5 rewatch. I am currently suffering through the first season, knowing that I will eventually get to the better later seasons. And I'm about 10 episodes in right now. And also, I have a thing going on Kickstarter right now. My publisher, eSpec Books, is doing if you go to Kickstarter and look up Something for Everyone, it is 7 books, including the next book in my urban fantasy series, The Adventures of Brown Gold. The book is called Feet of Clay, spelled F-E-A-T of clay, because it's got a golem in it and because I like puns. And that, along with novels by Christine Norris, Ty Drago, and F. Deal, as well as short story collections by Christopher L. Bennett, Christopher J. Burke, and Lisanne Norman. All of those are being kickstarted in one big Jagunda Kickstarter. It's already been funded, so if you support it, you are guaranteed to get what you want. And there's lots of cool bonuses and things, so you should check that out. It's the Something for Everyone campaign on Kickstarter.
Nice.
And I'm doing other things too. Look me up online. I'm easy to find. So.
Terrific.
And Gary disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, thank you.
He's hiding in shame. Yes.
Probably, yes, because
He
he's no
is.
longer the Gary.
Yes.
He was just a Gary.
He is just a Gary. And did he leave me to shut this thing down?
I think he did.
Well, let's do it, guys. We did it. We did it. We did it again. We will see you. We'll see you between now and the end of or the end of the beginning of next Dragon Con. But in the meantime, sayonara.
Happy birthday, Denise.
Happy birthday, Denise.
Birthday,
Thank
Denise.
you. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
All right. I'm just going to boot everybody off the thing.
Okay.
Good night, folks.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Right if you get work.
Yeah. I guess he forgot to boot us.
All right, guys. Now the after show begins.
Or we can just take bets on who gets booted next.
Are we just trapped here now?
It's still live, so.
Oh, God.
You are still live?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's like that Kids in the
feels
Hall
live.
skit where they get trapped in the skit because they didn't write the ending.
Yes, exactly.
Wow, here we are.
Yep.
Oh, Jerry's came back.
Okay.
Oh, and real quick, if you mentioned Kids in the Hall, speaking of comedy troops, if you guys have not watched it, track down Inside Number 9. They're coming up on their final episode of the entire 9 series next Wednesday. It is the best anthology show on television, period, right now. It's the first 8 seasons are available on BritBox. Truly phenomenal show.
Cool. I am definitely planning to check it out based on your recommendation. Oh, and speaking of recommendations.
Oh, there's Joe again.
I am so confused.
I'm also confused.
I'm not sure if it's my internet or StreamYard that's having the problem.
Oh, why not both?
Yeah. I mean,
Anyway,
why not?
What else are we going to do tonight?
it's still streaming live, and we haven't said anything interesting in about 10 minutes. So.
Oh,
Wait, sir, I would like to say we haven't said anything interesting for an hour and 22 minutes.
I was trying to be nice.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Don't be nice. We don't deserve it.
It's a new thing I'm trying.
We can at least unlive the panel, and then we can, be our usual silly selves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Public watching.
Oh, you guys are the best.
Yeah.
Kevin, is that a Legion of Superheroes poster behind you, sir?
Sure is. That was from the George Perez Memorial panel a couple of years ago. They handed out these prints to everybody in the audience.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So if the comics track is doing something comics related, and you happen to have a spot open, I might.
Joe, we go through this every year. I put
We
you on
do.
a panel every year, and you tell me you can't do it at the last minute.
That's
that
true.
is what happens.
Yeah.
That's why I want to go ahead and start it up again this year. It's my gimmick.
once
Now it's
So
a
you did
tradition.
not show up for it at the last minute, right?
Tradition.
I had my first conversation with Tony a couple weeks ago, and we're finalizing some things. We got some interesting guests this year. Jim Shooter's coming, so that's going to be interesting.
Marv Wolfman?
Definitely
Marv
qualifies.
Wolfman's going to be there.
Marv's going to be there?
Marv's coming back?
Oh, that's great.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
I haven't seen Marv in ages. That'd be cool.
So,
and I believe. Well, I would say there's someone else that I believe is going to be there, but I don't know if it's been publicly announced, and I don't want Joe and I to have certain people come down on our heads.
I know we're doing our usual Thursday night panel. The Thursday night panel is probably going to be tied to a movie coming out next year when that gets finalized. I'm not saying who it's about.
Cool.
But we might have.
That's okay. We have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know what your topic is going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be super, man.
You know what the worst part of that film being that movie being filmed right now? It is literally 10 minutes from my house. The studio is literally 10 minutes from here. Yeah, and
because we have security.
I had to joke the other day with some people. I'm like, it's not like security has my picture. Like, do not let this man on the property.
Not yet.
Not yet. But they're in LaGrange. They're in Macon. It's just like, why?
I salute your restraint, sir.
You left and they moved in.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm back down here.
Okay.
For reasons. So I will be down here till at least through Con.
Sweet.
Thankfully, because I didn't want to even think about the logistics of that yet. Sorry, this is our 20th Strength Dragon Con. We've been, our first one was in like 2001. It's always been like 30 miles away, and I don't want to think of it being 4 states away. And Keith is laughing at me right now.
Yes, I am. So's Kevin.
Oh yeah.
It may be 40% of the reason that Jessa and I moved to Georgia.
Yeah.
Only 40%.
Only 40%.
Yeah. There's not much else, I'm telling you right
now. So thank you everybody for coming. Joe and I want to do more of this. Bring back the magic of the quarantine panels.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to give them a new name since quarantine isn't really happening anymore.
I feel like we
rebrand.
Yes.
We can't call it after hours because that has implications.
It does. It does. Yes.
Yeah. Probation. No.
I like it. Wait, do I? No, we'll see.
Only you can answer that, Joe.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Indeed. So until next time, tune in when we hear Joe Crow say,
Gary, put down that steel chair.
No.
Which Gary, though?
That's the real question.
That is the real question.
All right, everybody. Freeze frame. Goodbye.